What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with a Pendulum Magician deck profile. So let's jump into this deck profile and see what we're coming at you with. I'm running one Dragon Pit Magician and one Dragon Pulse Magician. I like running these two, the originals. You know, they help to be able to clear off back row and also be able to clear off monsters depending on, you know, the plays that you have to make. The main thing I like about them is they're able to sometimes send pendulums to the graveyard that I need to send. But the main thing is they're high and low skill, and it can also clear the field. I'm also running two Harmonizing Magician. Harmonizing Magician is just very good for being a good high skill and also getting that 100 attack point boost for the magician that's in the pendulum, extra deck. The main thing is when he's pendulum summoned from hand, being able to grab one of your magicians out of the deck and pull it to the field can really help facilitate a lot of plays and help you extend your boards. I'm also running one Black Fang Magician, one Purple Poison Magician, one White Wing Magician, one Time Gazer, and you might as well put in the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. He is a magician. You know, if we had the double iris, that's what he would be, but I'm using him for material to get out other cards, but having Odd Eyes in the magician deck is always needed in my opinion. A lot of people call these cards bricks. They are not bricks. Even when it came back to when the original Pendulum Evolution box came out, I still ran these at 1 because they have a lot of added effects for the deck. Depending on how you set up your pen scales, a lot of times you don't want to put these guys specifically in your pen scales. You want to use them for materials for other things, but they're all very good and got good aspects for the deck depending on what you want to play. Also running 3 Servant of Endymion. Gotta have her. She helps to get the deck going, to be able to get your stuff on the field into what you want. And usually what you want to get onto the field is your Mighty Master, being able to hate on spell cards, and their little pet Mythical Beast Jackal King. You want to be able to use your servant to get these 3 out. Jackal King to be able to hate on your monster effects. Endymion, Mighty Master to be able to hate on any of the crazy spell trap card decks that might come out at you, to just be able to put those on hate. We're also running the 3 Chronograph. Chronograph is very good. It'd be great to get our Astrograph Sorcerer back. That'd be awesome. But until then, we gotta use Chronograph. He's gonna get that special summon. Also, too, if you use the magicians for fusion material, you can use him as a pretty much like a poly to get out Zar. We're also running the 3 Dark Worm and the 1 Donut. This is just always needed in any pendulum deck too. A lot of people go back and forth from 2 to 3. I prefer 3. If nothing else, I can use it as a pitch outlet. If nothing else, I can just normal summon it, go into whatever plays I need to go into. But the main thing is, whenever you do summon him, you want to get your donut for your extra calories. Get that into your hand, get that free plus, and keep your plays going the way you want to. Also running 1 Ether. Ether is just amazing card, just an amazing card for the deck to be able to, anytime it's summoned, normal summon, special summon, to be able to get that free banish of a card, you know, is very useful. If they do destroy it, run it over. If you got your scale set up to be able to pendulum summon it back, still get a banish, it's very helpful. And lastly, for the monsters, I'm running 1 Destrudo. Destrudo is just there to help to extend a lot of your plays depending on what you want to make. Yes, you're paying a lot of life points, but if you get your board set up the way you want to, those life points don't matter because you're going to win that game. But that's it for the monsters. For the spell cards, running 3 Allure Darkness. Allure Darkness is very good for the deck. We got plenty of dark monsters. Just be careful what you banish out depending on what plays you want to make, but very useful for helping you eat through the deck. On top of that, we're also running 3 Into the Void. Into the Void is just help to be able to dig into the deck a little deeper. As long as you got 3 cards in your hand, make sure you get that extra draw, but just make sure at the end phase you either got all your monsters out of your hand that you don't need, and also to be able to set all the spell and traps that you have to set, because in phase you will be dumping something to the graveyard. Also running 1 Upstart Goblin. Just like I said, we want to eat through the deck as much as possible. We have 7 search cards. Hey, 7's a lucky number, isn't it? We got 7 search cards, so it's very helpful to be able to keep your ball going for your deck. I'm also running one Duelist Alliance. A lot of people like to run this card at 3 or at 2. I personally have come to the decision I like to run it at 1. Yes, it is good to see, but it is a hard once per turn, and we're drawing through the deck so much that when you do see it, if you see it, you get the material that you want, it's gonna be a dead card if you keep drawing into extra bricks into your hand. So I like running it at 1. When I do get it, it gets me the material that I need. That material goes into something else. Also running 2 Pendulum Call. I want to see this card, but I don't want to see it too much. That's why I have the Duelist Alliance. This is the 3rd pin call if I need it to be. But pin call can be pitched for another pin call, so that can help out with that. Being able to get the magicians into your hand as fast as possible is very useful. Also too, always remember that once you activate this, you will not be able to pop your magicians with your Electromite effect. Also too, your opponent won't be able to twin twister. So just be able to remember that, keep that in mind. Also running 3 Spell Power Master. This card is just way too good. It's really a busted card. To be able to put 2 spell counters on your servant or onto your jackal, whatever, however you want to go about it. Also to be able to keep continuously adding up counters and get to search for whatever redeeming piece that you need. Very useful. Also running the 1 Dragon Ravine, the 1 Dragon Shrine, and the 1 Foolish Barrel. These are all ways to get either our Odd Eyes into the graveyard, to get our Dark Worm to the graveyard, to get our Destrudo into the graveyard, whatever material we might need into the graveyard at that time. We're able to do that, either be off of pitching or just sending, however you want to go about it. But that is it for the spell cards. For the traps, we run 1 trap, and that is Time Pendulum Graph. This card is very, in my opinion, underrated. It should be in about every single Pendulum Magician deck, bar none. The only reason why I say that is, as long as you control a Pendulum monster on the field, you're going to be able to make sure that you can target one of your Pendulums. Like I said, if you activate a Pen Call, you're going to send 2 of your opponent's monsters instead of destroying one of yours. So that's very useful and helps to clear boards very, very easily, very, very fast. Also too, your opponent won't be able to target your magicians with trap cards. So that's very helpful to be able to push through boards. So I like that a lot. But that is it for the main deck. For the extra deck, running 1 Supreme King Zark. Zark is, you know, he's a bad card. You know, he's a win more card very easily, very much so. But the fact is that a lot of times I like to set up the board so that I end up getting my magicians into the graveyard or using them as XYZ materials. That way, when I set up my board, if my opponent does out my board of, let's say, all my negates, I still have a backup plan that I can use my Chronograph Sorcerer, summon it, and just bring out Zark by banishing out the materials that way. That's the reason why I like to run Zark, because whenever he is summoned, he is 4K. He can be easily summoned once you get the materials into the graveyard. And on top of that, he's going to be a board wipe. He's not going to be able to be targeted, so that's very useful. If he is destroyed, you can set him into the pin scale, and he's going to make it very hard for your opponent to do searching. Also, too, he's going to make it hard for your opponent to really use those XYZ, Synchro, or Fusion monster effects. So that can be very, very helpful in your plays. Running 1 Odd Eyes Vortex. This should be, in my opinion, pretty much any Pendulum deck that you run. This is, to me, my baby. This is Odd Eyes Vortex. He's going to be able to put in work for you. He's just going to be able to make sure you get those negates that you want. Also running 1 Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, 1 Borlo Savage, 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, and 1 FA Dawn Dragster. You know, this is, to me, a very nice little lineup. You have your Crystal Wing that's going to hit on the monster effects. If the monsters are too big and they're level 5 or higher, to be able to get an attack point boost over them. You got your Borlo Savage Dragon. Anytime you got, you know, some link materials underneath him, whatever link material it is, get those negates. You got your Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. The main thing about him I like is if your opponent has their Hieratic Seal out there, they think they're going to use their Dragon Balls. If they haven't activated, whenever you summon something, by the time you go battle phase and you attack, if they ain't activated, they ain't not going to. It's going to be straight damage to them. FA Dawn Dragster. Dawn Dragster is just good for res extra, you know, spell and trap card hate. Very, very useful. We're also running the one Odd-Eyes Absolute Dragon, the Abyss Dweller, and the Time Star Magician. I like this lineup a lot just to be able to make sure that we can do some little extra deck things to our opponent. Odd-Eyes Absolute's usually going to be bringing out our Vortex or our Meteor Burst Dragon. It's just going to make sure that we can get those materials that we need on the field. Also too, if we have to, we can use them to make sure that we can get some good battle phase negates. Abyss Dweller is just good for hating on all the graveyard effects that our opponents have. You know, graveyard's the way to go right now. If you can either banish out the graveyard or lock out the graveyard, that's what you want to do. Our Time Star Magician is just good for making sure we can get those, you know, dark spellcasters to the hand as easily as possible. Also too, this is going to be another way to protect our Pendulum monsters from being destroyed. That's an effect that many people forget about, so that's very useful for helping us to sustain our board. We're also running the one Heavy Metaphors Electromite. This card is needed in every Pendulum deck. You know, I hope this card goes back. We get a ban list. It'd be very, very useful. Also, too, this deck will change depending on we getting new support with the Celestial Magician, Perform Power Celestial Magician, which that's pretty much his arc. But you know, if we get, you know, another one of these off the ban list, it'd be very good. We're also running a small Guard Dragon engine in the Guard Dragon LP, Dragoon Knight Romulus, the Dragon Balls, and the Triple Burst Dragon. You know, this is a nice little package, nice little lineup. Help us to be able to set up our board. Come April, things will change with the deck. You will not have to really run the Guard Dragon package if you don't want to, but it is a nice little package to help extend boards if you want to go that route. LP to be able to pull one out of the deck, Romulus to be able to get our Dragon Ravine when we need it during the combo, Dragon Balls just to be able to make sure we can get out any crazy dragon that we want, because it's going to make our wish come true. And Triple Burst is just good for helping to set up the combo, but also too, if you do have to leave this on the field, do remember you can tribute this during your opponent's turn, bring this back, and depending on whatever they do, you can get the effect of Electromite to get a draw if they try to destroy one of your pen scales or Pendulum monsters. And lastly, for the extra deck, running one Borlo Dragon, because Borlo Dragon, you know, you can switch this out to whichever Borload you want, or Avermax, whatever, but I continuously like Borlo Dragon. It's just one of those cards that's very, very useful. Helps in minusing out your opponent sometimes on their attack points, and just being able to snatch steal one of their cards is very, very helpful. But that's it for the deck profile, guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the ban list that's supposed to be coming up. What cards would you like to see coming off the ban list? I like to see this bad boy right here come back, but that's wishful thinking. Thanks, guys, for all your love and support. We're out.